We're in New York City and we're going to show you the fun things you can do here. Our first stop is the Empire State Building, and you can have access to this attraction with the City Pass. When you first enter, there's a little museum about the Empire State Building. So when you look through this, you can see what the site looked like in the 1920s. And right now, I see someone buying a newspaper. So the entire project was completed in 13 months. I didn't know the Empire State Building opened during the Great Depression. This is a replica of the original elevator cab that went to the 102nd floor, but the new one is made of glass. This room shows the Empire State Building in various movies, like I saw Elf and King Kong on here. This room shows famous people that have visited the Empire State Building. Oh, The Simpsons?
Welcome to the world's most famous building, and you get to see it built.
We're on the 80th floor, and then there's additional views on the 86th and 102nd. This is the southern view, and you can see the World Trade Center, the tallest building in the US, and good old New Jersey to the right. This is the east view. Since the sun is rising, it's a little hard to see, but that's fine because there's not as many well-known buildings here. This is the highest up I've ever been in a building, 86 floors. And that is the Empire State Building, which is apparently the most famous building in the world.
Overall, this building's not bad. If you do want to say that you've been into the Empire State Building, definitely come here, of course. But the views are pretty nice. There are some bars, so you can't get the best photos.
So we got to go to the 80 and 86th floor. If you want to go to the 102nd floor, you have to pay extra. So I guess it was cool being this high. This is the highest I've ever been in a building. Our next stop is the New York Public Library. First, we're checking out Awe of the Arctic, which ends in June 2024. We're in Treasures, which I think has famous collections from around the world. Here's Winnie the Pooh and his friends. This is the second official printing of the Declaration of Independence. And behind it is the Constitution. It's what was in the country's first daily newspaper, Pennsylvania Packet. Here's a photograph of Rosa Parks from 1955. And then there's also a flyer that promotes desegregated seating. There's a lot of historical books and documents here, like from Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, there's Shakespeare over there, Martin Luther King. We're on the 3rd floor and the Awe of the Arctic continues here. It's like the Sistine Chapel. Naked angels up there. And that is New York Public Library.
I really like the architecture in this building. There's a lot of beautiful designs all around, but I also really like the exhibit where they show stories and some artifacts from that story.
My favorite part was the Treasures exhibit, and I especially liked looking at those historical documents like the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go to the actual library section because it's for research only, unless it's the first hour of the day. That's when they let the public in. Or you could go on a tour, and that's where they filmed Ghostbusters.
On to our next stop.
It's time to check out the Morgan Library and Museum. The bottom floor has some information on John Pierpont Morgan, which everyone knows as J.P. Morgan. In 1907, there was a financial panic, so he helped the U.S. economy in that. This gallery is called Portrait of the Artist, and here's some of the photos the artist took. We're going to check out Beatrix Potter's Drawn to Nature exhibit, and Beatrix Potter was a children's author. The first section is about Beatrix's early life. the author, she had a pet rabbit, and maybe that's where she got her inspiration from. So it seems like all her books have animals as characters. This section is on the tale of Peter Rabbit, which is Beatrix Potter's most famous book. Peter Rabbit's race game. It actually looks so elaborate. These are her sketches from over 100 years ago, and that rabbit in particular is very cute. J.P. Morgan's library. Here's a Bible in Latin and French from the Middle Ages. It looks so fancy. And right now it's open to the Book of John. This is the West Room Vault. It looks so fancy. Look at that. This is a cast of George Washington's face from 1785. A French sculptor came to his house and wanted to make a mold. This entire part of the library is like all Bibles. I don't know why he needs that many. Bible in German, Bible in Arabic. The Morgan is the only institution in the world to have 3 copies of the Gutenberg Bible. And Gutenberg is like the first printing press. And that is the Morgan Library and Museum.
My favorite part was the Beatrix Potter exhibit because I really like looking at all the small books. They were so cute.
This is the most impressive collection of books I've ever seen. Just to go in the room, see the amazing architecture and the levels of books stacked on top of each other, and the hundreds of versions of the Bible. There's way too many books than J.P. Morgan could have ever read, but the collection was just so impressive. We're inside Grand Central Terminal, and brother picked up a self-guided tour, so we're just gonna walk around and see what there is to see. That's the world's largest Tiffany clock at the front. We're in the Whispering Gallery, so I think I have to go to that corner and brother has to go there, and maybe we could hear each other. So when I talk into the arch, brother can hear me and respond from way over there. Is that right? Hi. Okay, what's 2 plus 2? 4. What's 4 plus 4? We're at Grand Central Market, and LA also has a Grand Central Market, but this one seems much brighter and happier. We're at Joey Bat's Cafe in Grand Central, and brother's gonna try the Portuguese egg tart. Oh wow, this is the best egg tart I've ever had, and we live in a place with good egg tarts, but like over there it says, imagine if a creme brulee and a croissant had a baby. We're gonna check out Grand Central Madison, which is their newest concourse. At this point, we're kind of just going around aimlessly, but this is a very nice terminal, and it's crazy how we went from like an old ancient building from the early 1900s to this new thing. Now we're at St. Patrick's Cathedral. There are many altars with different saints, and also you can light the candles with a donation.
This cathedral reminds me a lot of the Harry Potter inside the Great Hall because of the interior tops. The cornerstone of this cathedral was laid in 1858 and then it opened in 1879. And at first it was ridiculed because people thought that this cathedral was way too far outside of the city. And now look where the city is. There's skyscrapers all around. And that is St. Patrick's Cathedral. I really like how along the walls they showed the story of how Jesus died on the cross throughout the whole cathedral. I was really impressed by the architecture, and this must be a busy month for them, March, because there was St. Patrick's Day, which this cathedral is kind of named after, you know? And then there was Palm Sunday, and now Easter is coming up. Our next stop is MoMA Museum of Modern Art. We're starting on the 6th floor and working our way down. I'm excited for the 5th floor because it has Van Gogh's Starry Night. That's not the sun. It's the same thing again, but this time, the sun got smudged out.
So my impression is that Starry Night is like New York's version of the Mona Lisa, like the one painting that they have that's the most famous. This is Picasso's section of naked people, even that huge one over there. This half of the room has some more traditional looking artwork that you can't really tell is by Picasso, but then when it gets to here, you can that's obviously Picasso because it just looks so abstract. I like this one. It's called Three Musicians by Picasso. There's, I think, a flute, a guitar, violin, no, probably violin, right? And then there's like a witch on the right. I don't know what he's playing. This type of style is called Cubism, and Picasso's use of it is just so unique that he's one of my favorite artists. This huge panel is by Monet, and I did not know he painted this huge, because I've only seen like portrait-sized artworks. This museum is huge. We've been on the 5th floor wandering around, and every single turn is a new gallery.
Somebody cut this thing.
Was it meant to be like that? I love this piece. It's so American. 2 cheeseburgers. And that's MoMA.
My favorite part was the Picasso paintings and the Monet because I really liked the huge painting that goes all around the room.
The thing I knew they had here was Starry Night, and that's one of my favorite paintings of all time. So I'm really glad that I was able to see it in person. There were also a lot of interesting Picasso paintings, so that was probably my favorite part. Now we're going to the top of the rock, and this is one of the 6 bonus choices you can get on a My City Pass. We're going up to the 67th floor.
Going up a skyscraper.
Whoa, and it's changing colors too. Look at how empty it is. There's nobody on the observation deck. The best draw to top of the rock is that you can see directly onto the Empire State Building. We took a gamble because of the rain, and the lady said there was a 50-50 chance we would be able to see things well. So I guess the gamble paid off because it's really empty up here. There's only one other family.
And it looks like there's another floor up there, so let's try to get up there.
We can now see the north, and that's Central Park, that huge emptiness. Okay, it seems we came at the perfect time because the fog or clouds are rolling in, and now you cannot see the top of the Empire State Building. And that's the top of the rock. We're now on the 69th floor.
My favorite part is obviously the view. You get a 360 if you keep walking around of the whole New York City. And if you come at night, you get the city lights.
So this view is just so unique to me. And the fact that we have it almost all to ourselves is crazy. We just got lucky that we came on a night with rain and that the view happened to be here.
See you in the next video. Bye!